What you see here is the building of Polish stock exchange, and this market is, as you know, another market that is very much centralized. How we can decentralize the whole process, and the answer is to fractionalize the resources that are stocks, that are bonds, that are all kinds of financial instruments, which could be very easily transferred on chain and then also split, so you don't need to buy very expensive stocks at once in one piece. You can just buy a fraction of that, and you will be also benefiting from the hopefully bull markets that will be upon us. So in addition, as we see the physical building here, the whole stock is also based on very much physical limitations. So you don't need to wait until 8 a.m. to start your trading with blockchain-based stock resources. Here we have all the constraints that are imposed by outdated infrastructure, by outdated laws. With decentralized institutions and decentralized way of managing assets, you are removing all of these obstacles and you are focusing on what is important to you, on user experience. You trade when you want, what you want, and you have no limits in terms of how to move your assets between various accounts, and how to protect your assets also with your non-custodial way of storing the tokens in your own wallet. While this is not possible yet, but I'm strongly convinced that in the future, instead of using brokers and exchanges like that, you will be just holding your own wallet that is inside your physical device, and you will be the true owner of your assets, including stocks and bonds. So in addition, if you invest in crypto, to me it's like a great analogy. If you see the bull and compare this against the bull from the stock exchange here in Warsaw, then you will know everything. Do you know what it is? This is like a notary act, and where we're standing here is the big office, the office that is processing this kind of documents in centralized way. We have many these kind of offices in Poland. This is quite expensive and tedious process to make sure that all changes in terms of the property ownership are being recorded in the centralized database. In order to buy or sell the property or any kind of formal business, you need to fill out all of these pages. You need to get the stamps, and you need to make sure that you pay the money to this institution. Casper, as a proof-of-stake blockchain, would like to disrupt this state of art and propose new solutions that would be facilitating these kind of operations in a financial world. These guys, they have monopoly on these operations, so I cannot really do peer-to-peer transactions without their acceptance. And it's all formalized, and it's a good way because it's secured, but it's secured by the central entity. And the way we would like to change this is to move the security on-chain and make the whole process distributed. See, we have these fancy stamps are needed to make sure that the document is tamper-proof, and these kind of operations are available by default on Casper blockchain. This is very important to make sure that all of these operations are approved by the consensus protocol, and whereas Casper is a generic solution, we are making sure that we are creating a set of applications that are dedicated to fulfilling this kind of use cases, and that are engaging all kind of security measures, making sure that the documents that we are producing are being stored safely on the blockchain in a form of non-fungible tokens, so NFT certificates that could be traded freely and transferred with the ownership between parties with a secure way using the cryptography, public-private keys, and so forth. We have many good learning materials that they are available on YouTube. They are available on our main website, which is Casper.network. And from there, you can gradually build your awareness about Casper. And basically for you, the most important thing is to know that we are autonomous L1 blockchain. That means that we created this platform from scratch. We are managing the roadmap entirely by ourselves. And we are driving this in a direction that will help to spread the blockchain adoption for the world. So Casper is a proof-of-stake network. It means that it has low requirements on the hardware in terms of to run the nodes. As you probably know, when you're mining bitcoins, you need really expensive hardware to become one of the miners over there and secure the network. In our case, you just need like a small PC box where you install our software, and then you delegate a little bit of tokens and you are one of the validators. So it's very easy to get into the validators business. It's very easy to delegate, so you don't even need to run the node by yourself. You need to have some of the tokens on your wallet, and you can delegate these tokens to one of the validators that are on our mainnet, and then you will get the rewards out of the staking. So you know this very well that now we are in a difficult market, and to have this maybe 10% API, it's something that is worth considering. And then Casper is built not only about the token value, but about the utility. So we are very much concentrated and focused to bring more and more apps on Casper. So whether you are a gamer or you like to invest via DeFi protocol, or you'd like to buy a piece of art from Maciej and have this beautiful picture and also NFT object, this is something that we can offer by using our products that are already deployed to Casper. Thanks. There's another topic about the platform that lets you to distribute all kinds of digital assets, including games, but also music. And this is very vital, especially with the times that we have now, that everybody could be the author, the creator, and he would like to own the full rights to his products, to his creations. So with centralized approach, you need to go to development studios, to any companies that are basically partially taking the ownership of your own assets. With distributed way of managing the resources using blockchain, you are the true owner, and you can decide how you would like to leverage the possibilities that you opened by creating this music piece or this game piece, and how you would like to distribute this over to your community, to the buyers. So with the decentralized way of distributing, especially music, you can manage the way you handling the royalties, the way you handling the leasing of your products, the way they could be used by applying various licenses, and this is all stored on chain, so nobody will take the ownership from you. You will have full records of all activities that are somehow connected to your asset, including the history, when it was stored on the blockchain, how it was used by various users, and who is the current owner. So that gives you the true control over the digital assets, including games, including music, including all maybe video clips. So that is something that awaits us in the future. Hopefully we'll move away from centralized distribution platforms towards decentralized systems that let you to manage your resources without any limits.
Why should I invest in Casper, where I have a lot of opportunities?
In Casper, you are investing in a company that has like a real development in behind, real technology, and real projects that are building already both on enterprise and community side. So for you, it's important that the Casper blockchain itself has very robust pillars that we are basing on. And now what we do, we are exploring the further opportunities in terms of, if you have your own idea, you are coming to us and we are letting you know what would be the development path for you exactly. You have very direct interactions with us, so you can always very much welcome to come to our desk, ask about the health of the company, what is going on, what we have on our roadmap. We are not hiding anything. We try to be fully transparent with you, and that I think gives us a lot of confidence on proposing ourselves as a good investment solution for you. So guys, we have very interesting pieces of art here, and in my background there's like a national museum. So basically maybe this stuff is not going there anytime soon, but still it's a vital question how we can provide extra funding for all kinds of pieces of art that are stored in museums. So the answer to that is to fractionalize the resources and fractionalize the artwork that is stored in museums and offer them to the community as NFTs. So that's like a straightforward way of providing extra funds to institutions like that, and also to boost the productivity, to support the new artists by buying their artwork in a form of NFTs or fractionalized assets when it comes to more expensive stuff. With Casper, we have the possibility to mix the physical objects that are presenting the art with digital tokens, non-fungible tokens, and connect them all together. So by buying this kind of NFT, you are not buying only the token that is stored on chain, but you are buying the physical asset that is connected to the given token. So by the act of purchasing the given NFT, you are becoming an owner both for the digital proof that is stored on chain and the objects that you can hang on your wall. By owning the NFT and the artwork that is behind that, you have more means of also benefiting from this fact. So you can of course sell and buy the stuff, but you can also, by being an owner, benefit from using royalties model that we are also working currently at Casper to add on top of the NFT layer. With royalties, you will be able to benefit from the further selling operations that will happen over the time, and every time somebody is transferring the ownership to another person, you will get a cut out of that. Okay guys, so one asset or fractionalized asset, all is possible with Casper and our new NFT standard.
I'm building a game. I want to integrate blockchain into it and NFT tokens. And what would be the best solution in your opinion?
Basically, I know that you are a seasoned developer, that you already know how to build games on other blockchains. And in Casper, it's very similar. So Casper itself provides several building blocks that lets you to put these all together, elements together and create a game out of this. So basically, now when we look at games, you need smart contracts, so you need to have the business logic. These smart contracts can be deployed on layer 2, layer 1, it's up to you. At Casper, the network itself is very reliable and quite fast, also with low transaction fees. So for basic solutions, we recommend to go for layer 1, so you can deploy your smart contract directly there. We have a set of native functionalities for instance, native transfer of tokens. And then on top of that, you would like to have most probably NFTs. So for that, we have already prepared NFT implementation standard. It's called CP47. It's very similar to the one from Ethereum. So with that, you are able to mint, burn, transfer your tokens. And then you have all these gamification possibilities. So depending on frequency of exchanging the information, you would go for your custom code. You can set some logic apart. You can have some of the computation off-chain, integrate this with on-chain logic. This is something that we recommend, especially that you don't want to store everything on a blockchain. As you know, storing everything on a blockchain is expensive. Building a game on Casper is a good mix between using our building capabilities, smart contracts that we have already for NFTs, and then wrapping this with your custom code and also integration with wallets, with maybe DEXs, with bridges that lets you to also to on-ramp the users that are coming with assets that maybe are stored on other chains.
What language I need to learn in order to program smart contracts on Casper?
Yeah, so here we went with Rust. Rust, as you know, it's like a standalone programming language. It's similar to C++ or C. So if you have your development team that are coming from different backgrounds, from our experience, it's very easy to onboard them with this programming language. On top of that, you have our libraries that lets you to use capabilities of blockchain in your Rust code. And of course, when you are building web-based game, then you would need to have an access to SDKs. We provide SDKs in JavaScript or TypeScript. If you like to use Python SDK, we have one as well. We have also Java SDK, Golang, Erlang, you name it.
Okay, so I'm really curious about the Casper network, and I would like to know about the use cases of the CSPR token.
CSPR token, this is like a utility token. So when you think about Bitcoin, it's more like a digital money when it is value focused. In case of Casper, the token itself is not the new money. It's the way to pay the gas fees, the transaction fees. So when you ask me about the use cases for the CSPR token, they are basically to make sure that we are funding properly the applications that are running on Casper. So now, when it comes to categorizing the applications, we have a set of groups that I can name it right now. So we have DeFi, so decentralized finance. We have all kind of DEXs or bridges that are also included over there. We have also very strong scene for NFT projects. So Either there will be like an artwork or certificates, or maybe intellectual property projects that are using non-fungible tokens to transfer some kind of ownership and value among the users. We are also observing fast-growing gaming industry that is coming to us and asking us for the possibilities of transforming the existing games into Web3 solutions or building the games from scratch. In that way, we are able to both use the custom tokens inside the game and also use NFTs to represent the objects that players are using within these environments. And maybe another group that could be interesting are enterprise applications. So this is not only existing on other chains. So Casper is also very much focused on enterprise adoption. So we are building specialized, very much tailored environments, even like a private chains that are serving big corporations and fulfilling very specific needs where we are mixing privacy with stability of the public network.
Thank you for the answer.
What do you mean if you're talking about the Casper that is industrial grade blockchain?
Yes, we started like that. So industrial grade means to us that we are able to diversify our customers and we are able to support both open source community, NFT projects, games, DeFi and so forth. And then on other leg, we have our industrial grade customers, our partners that we are able to cooperate with. That makes a very solid base for our project as well, because it is always about long-term cooperation, about specific projects, domain-based, maybe tokenization, maybe core banking, maybe intellectual property that let us to flourish on these both fronts.
And also I hear that you're working with the Amazon.
Give the option for our customers to choose between Hyperledger and Casper. Casper is very much suited for anything that is enterprise grade, so you can plug in your development environment using your CI/CD testing libraries very seamlessly using a technology that is based on Rust, that is based on WebAssembly, that is solid and future-proof.
You said about the future-proof. What do you mean about this blockchain is future-proof?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So normally in Ethereum, when you want to change something with your smart contract, you most probably would be deploying a new version of the smart contract, and then you need to provide the migration path for your users in order to let them use the new version of the contract. At Casper, we went in a different way, so our smart contracts are upgradable. So basically, you can decide which parts of the smart contract can be updated, and then user is using the same address, but with the new version. In the metadata, you can specify what can be upgraded, what is rock solid, what is permanent, and then in that way, user experience is totally different because they are using just one smart contract that has behind the scenes many iterations that you can improve the security, performance, and so forth without changing anything on the user side.
Okay, but for example, if you have the contract with some issue and you revert it, what happens then with other transactions or things that happened during this period of time?
Yes, so upgrades work in a way that you select the upgrade port for your contract. So the specific block height, you will switch to the new version. And then, depending on the security vulnerability, the history cannot be rewritten. So starting from this point in time, the smart contract will be running without this security flow, and the users that will be willing to use it in the future, they will be safe. Yeah? The thing that is in past, it's permanent, it's the blockchain. Yeah? But
so it works like you override with the old version, or
yes, that everything is on the timeline. So we cannot change the past, but we can change the future. With Casper, it's possible to have this seamless transition between the versions, so the user is able to use the same smart contract address, but the version underneath will be without this security vulnerability.
You say the hash is the same, yeah? The address of the contract is the same, but could I switch the contract inside to something totally different, for example? So, or they need to have some points, some similarities to the
yeah, another good question on point. Anything that will be upgradable or not is defined through metadata in the contract. So if you check our documentation, and users will be checking as well, they will see that if they use this contract, this business logic is permanent, but these attributes can be updated when we will be releasing new versions of the contract.
So you cannot change the metadata itself, only the logic behind it.
Correct.
Yes?
We are changing the logic of the smart contract. To some extent, of course, if you are minting some objects like, let's say, NFT, you can change the metadata of the NFT object. But the smart contract itself is described by metadata. So when you deploy this, it is your contract with the user as well. So that's.
So in this case, the metadata is the one which tells you what actually the smart contract do.
Yes, we build that in that apart from the business logic, we have this metadata layer that describe the smart contract behavior, including upgrades.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
Super,
That's
thank
a
you.
good idea.
Is Casper is centralized?
So we try to build this in a way that is totally decentralized, and it means that on every layer we are designing Casper blockchain to make sure that there is no central entity managing the actions or governing the network. So our validators are being picked on a very democratic way. So the more you stake, the more chances are that you will be picked for to be validator in the network. We have 100 validators, so it's very much secured and spread in terms of the stake. We try to apply more on-chain governance to make sure that our users are also deciding on the future of the blockchain. Thanks.
Why is there so little information about Casper on the internet?
We are improving this. So as you could see, now we are in Warsaw in Poland, which is like a local event, but it's still very interesting for us to engage with all kind of projects and different types of users that are approaching us. So we are now very much visible in Poland. So I think that we are getting stronger and stronger presence on the Polish market, and we try to replicate the same steps also on the European zone. So I believe that in November we will be in Berlin. There will be also a strong presence in Spain. We try to rebuild the communities from scratch in all major European countries. So stay tuned. For now, we are the most active on our global channels. So either you go for Telegram channel, which is like a Casper official tube. We have also something on Reddit. We have something on Facebook. We have very active community on Twitter, including my private account. But also others are trying to get you up to date with all the news that are with regards to Casper. We try to be present on all kinds of events that we are like here in Cryptoverse conference, and this is present well in advance. So we also try to prepare the community for the events that are yet to come, and hopefully you will be on board with us, and we'll meet again maybe in Krakow. Invest Caps will be there for sure, and anything that is a little bit more local, like a local meetups, maybe more so, we'll try to be present through our project managers who are also Polish. So I invite you to follow us and make sure that we stay in touch.
Where I can buy Casper token?
Depends if you want to go decentralized or centralized way.
Okay, so maybe we'll start from the decentralized one.
So we have two solutions right now. We have Friendly Market and the Swappery, and what is interesting for you, there is one Polish project that is brewing in right now. So the guys from Casper Army are also preparing their own decks. So you will be able to buy Casper tokens via Casper Army decks.
Okay, that was decentralized one. Do you have like some centralized markets?
We started with CoinList, and you are still eligible to buy and trade tokens over there. Then we went with Huobi, which is like a Chinese stock exchange. We have OKX, we have Gate, we have Uphold. So already you have plenty of options that you can choose from, but we are working on more mainstream gateways as well.
Okay, as far as I know, that this is like different blockchain. So do you have like, or do you use some kind of bridges, something like that?
Yes, we have also the bridges that we built natively. We are bridging both to EVM and non-EVM chains. And the most prominent example is, I think, the Oracle. And of course, Skybridger.
Okay.
What's the Casper technological advantage over the other blockchains?
We don't see that much competition on the market. We try to collaborate. Yes. So if you look at other blockchains, we are all building bridges. We are try to swapping the proto tokens. And in terms of the advantages, as you asking for that, is more about naming the features. So we are very proud that we are Rust based. So it's very easy to transition the developers that are on C++ to get into our code base and start building on Casper right away. We have ready to be used testing framework, CI/CD framework, so you are able to not only to build your application, but making sure that it's proof, it's future-proof, secure-proof. It's easy to deploy this to the cloud. Then we are building this in a way that the onboarding process to the project is very easy. So you have a lot of tutorials, guides, how-to materials that lets you to channel your energy and let's say to focus on building DeFi project, focus on building NFT project, gaming, more to come. And around that, I'm now more on the ecosystem side. Around that, you have very solid base where you can create your smart contracts, make them upgradable. It's based on proof of stake protocol, so it's very reliable, environmentally friendly. It's also quite cheap in terms of transactions, and it's designed in a way that you are able to maintain the code in the future. Hi guys, so what you see here is like a busy city in the rush hours, and you have many layers of public services that are cooperating together. Currently, in order to work it efficiently, you need to have a set of centralized services, databases, servers, trying to pay for the ticket that I got for my parking place, and this is now being done on a centralized server, and I need to wait in order to ensure that the communication is being done properly. And this could go down at any moment, and of course there are teams that are working making sure that I have the full availability to these services, but I would rather rely on the system that is distributed and independent from the infrastructure that is provided in this single place. So blockchain technology offers you the possibility to use the services that are being provided in a decentralized way, that we have a whole network of nodes that are keeping my transactions, the account state, and all kinds of services that I'm interacting with secure, that I have the possibility to check the history of my operations, that I can pay not only with my fiat money, my credit card, but also with all kinds of tokens that I have on my wallet that is being custodial or non-custodial. And in that way, the perspective and user experience is changing tremendously. I don't need to trust one centralized entity. I'm trusting my device, my wallet, create a network of servers around the city or around the country that would be storing the same information that would be used by citizens of the big and smaller cities. And with that, they are able to access the data no matter what. This is fail-proof, so even if one server is down, we have a network of all servers that are cooperating together and delivering the quality of service that you would be expecting to get from the city. All of these means are being provided by blockchain technology, and also especially by utility layers that are available by default in Casper blockchain network.
I want to ask you about the solutions for gaming specifically. Do you have any?
We are very much focused also on the entertainment, which of the gaming is like a vital part. With games, it's also very much connected the NFT topic. Yeah? So now when you think about the games that are also blockchain enabled, so Web3 games, most probably you would envision that you have the gameplay that is very much traditional parts, and then you have some elements of interaction that user can own and can trade, and normally these kind of elements could be enclosed as NFT objects.
So you can possess the items in form of NFTs?
Yes.
Right?
Which is very important, as you mentioned this, since normally when you look back at the games that we were playing 5 years ago, you were spending and investing a lot of your time to level up your character in the game, but then it was left alone, left only in this kind of environment that was proprietary and closed.
I can see that's very problematic. Every time you upgrade your weapon, you need to mint another NFT again. Do you have any solutions for that?
Yeah, that's a very good remark. So it's very important to make the user experience that we have in games seamless and not chunky or anything like it's manual. So when it comes to NFTs, by default they are immutable, and you are right that if I have anything that is like a new version of the NFT, then in fact I need to mint another one, and then the user will have a little bit of difficulties to manage all of this. And at Casper, since we have some core capabilities in the platform that are about upgradable smart contracts, we can also mitigate these kind of issues. So our NFTs could be very much dynamic. Maybe not the NFT itself, but we could change the metadata. We could update the metadata. And in your use case, in your example, when I'm leveling up with my items, these items will be growing with me by updating the metadata, but not changing the item itself. Have you seen something like that? It's quite common silver coin. So here it's not about to brag you about this, but to show you the possibilities in terms of the commodity market. So especially for the precious metals, anything that has some stored value that we can use. It's very interesting to invest in that, but it's kind of difficult to make sure that your investments are properly managed, that you know how to store this kind of assets and you know how to sell them to other persons. So the answer to that is to digitalize them and to peg them to digital tokens. So you have on one hand the guarantee that the tokens that you are the owner of, they have the real representation of the precious metal, and the other hand you have the flexibility in terms of how you manage them, so how you can sell, trade and fractionalize this kind of assets. So with the blockchain technology, especially with the utility layers that are built into Casper Network, we have many possibilities of turning physical assets into tokens and then making sure that they are freely transferable, that you have the control over that. It could be done in custodial or non-custodial way. You have the possibility to use the capabilities that are built into our platform. So you can use, for instance, weighted keys to access the resource as a group with a very much fine-grained permission system, and that altogether creates a mature environment to dealing with this kind of assets. So you see here a gadget from the future, but this is real stuff. So I am personally IoT geek, and I'm very much interested in all kind of sensors that could be used to enhance our daily life, to improve the quality of life. In this particular case, we have the device that is monitoring the phases of the sleep, and this is something that we can also leverage for storing various data using distributed database. In that way, you will be able to gather the signals from all kinds of sensors, from your watch, from this kind of stuff, the kinds of sensors that are around you, and combine them in one single image of your daily activities, your daily signals, and infer from there whether you are a healthy person, unfit person, whether you need any help. And this kind of database could be easily shared with other institutions, with clinics, with hospitals, with doctors. That would be a proven track record of your activities that could be helping you improving either your quality of life or basically fixing your health issues. Okay, so in terms of disruptive ways of applying blockchain into different fields of science and technology, I think it's worth to mention that currently the mainstream blockchains, they are based on internet communication, and there is nothing that prevents us from using IoT devices and their proprietary standards for communicating, like low-powered but Bluetooth or near-field communication, also to transfer the data that is needed to build new blocks in the blockchain, especially with proof of stake. When you have low requirements on the hardware resources, it's entirely possible to build up the low-powered networks of mesh devices that are communicating without use of any mainstream providers. I'm really IoT nerd, yeah? I love this stuff. So first of all, you need to tell us what is going on here.
Thanks, simply, that's the smallest gaming controller in the world. We've been working on that for 5 years actually. It was really hard to put electronic into this small thing, which is beer bottle cap, I can show you one of the best algorithms, I would say. It's toss, actually. I haven't seen that before, that you can toss like a coin.
So basically, these little things you use for any kind of gamification. Yes, like mostly for entertainment, for games, about Web3 apps. Yes, so this is all like a blockchain connected, or?
Yes, that's right. Because as you can see, you've got gaming controller, so you can use it as tool to a key to unlock boxes. You can collect these boxes through the city, and then you have to unlock it.
So, like, to me, it's like the prime example of these disruptive technologies when you connect real-world items like these controllers using IoT, then going full native, and on top of that you have blockchain.
Yes, but most importantly, people love it. People love it around the world. You show it to the...
Easy to use,
Yes,
very straightforward to
We have
get.
tested that in Los Angeles, and they already want us to buy it.
Nice. So, Maciej, I'm very keen to talk to you about the details of potential collaboration with Casper blockchain. We are looking
Good to hear. Thank you.
For this kind of projects, and I think we will find the common ground here to at least explore the possibilities that are in front of us.
It was nice to talk to you.
Super.
Thanks.
Thanks.